Well, the drier conditions are continuing in Oklahoma. So, Derrell, how are wheat pastures shaping up?
Well, we got off to a pretty good start. We had moisture in August. There were some people got planted early, and the wheat came up well and is doing well. Some people planted after the moisture, and I think the wheat's coming up. The problem is we haven't had any moisture in about 2 or 3 weeks in most of western Oklahoma. So it's not going to stay this way if we continue on this path.
So is that going to be a threat to winter grazing at all?
Well, it could. We've got a good start, but it's going to require some follow-up moisture. If you look at the weather, we've got La Nina conditions pretty firmly entrenched right now, and we're kind of playing that out in a classic sense. So there's not much moisture in the forecast, and if we don't get some follow-up moisture in October, then I think this wheat will really begin to suffer and not produce enough pasture for us.
So, with all that in mind, how is this going to impact cattle feeder markets?
Well, we're at the time of the year when we should be close to our seasonal low for calves in Oklahoma, and we kind of count on that stocker cattle demand as we bring a lot of calves to town. Our biggest runs are still ahead of us in the next month or so, but normally, or at least if we have wheat pasture demand, that kind of offsets that and minimizes that seasonal pressure. And if the wheat pasture is struggling, then we could see some additional pressure, so we might push these prices a little bit lower over the next month or so.
So, talking about drought and how that's going to impact cattle, is there anything else that producers should consider in regards to cattle markets going forward into the new year?
Well, as we go through this fall, we kind of need to be aware of these drought conditions. That may force some people to kind of change their plans a little bit. Couple things. One is that this time of the year, it's very typical, and we're seeing it this year, where we see some differences in price changes according to the weight of cattle. So if you've got lightweight calves and you're looking at a potential to maybe put another 50 pounds on them, those pounds may not be worth a whole lot. If they're bigger cattle, say over 600 pounds, those pounds can be worth a lot more. There's a sharp price break around 600 pounds for steers, 550 for heifers. The other thing that cow-calf producers probably ought to keep in mind is this cull cow market. We normally see seasonal lows in late October, early November. And so if you're in a situation where you're probably going to have to cull sooner rather than later, it may make sense to do it sooner rather than later and take advantage of the fact that these prices have not yet dropped as much as they probably will over the next month or 6 weeks.
All righty, Derrell. Dr. Derrell Peel, Livestock Marketing Specialist here at Oklahoma State University.